Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just a wealthy financier or just a convicted predator. His immense fortune, elite connections, and untouchable status suggest something far more sinister. He mingled with billionaires, royals, and world leaders, but there's one connection that few dare to discuss. Epstein's operations closely resemble an age-old intelligence tactic, honey traps, or honeypots. The use of blackmail, especially sexual blackmail, is a well-documented strategy in espionage, and Epstein's entire operation seemed designed to ensnare powerful figures. He owned multiple properties, all outfitted with surveillance equipment. He had a private island, a private jet, and a secretive social network that catered to the most influential people in the world. If Epstein's goal was simply personal gratification, why was he constantly surrounding himself with politicians, businessmen, and scientists? Why was he recording them? And most importantly, who was collecting that information? And here's where we get to the part people don't like to talk about. At the heart of Epstein's operation was a web of ties to powerful Israeli figures and intelligence-linked individuals, like Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell, born Jan Ludwig Hock, was a British media mogul and suspected Mossad operative. The UK Foreign Office suspected him of being a double or triple agent with ties to MI6, the KGB, and Israeli intelligence. But his most well-documented connection was to the Mossad. In 1948, Maxwell played a key role in smuggling arms and aircraft parts to Israel during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, helping to ensure the country's survival. In the 1980s, Maxwell was conduit for distributing a bugged version of the Promise software, I don't know if I'm saying that right, enabling Mossad to spy on foreign governments, including the United States and its nuclear research sites. In 1986, Maxwell allegedly tipped off Israeli intelligence about nuclear whistleblower Mordecai Vanunu, leading to his abduction by Mossad agents. Maxwell's mysterious death in 1991 only fueled suspicions. He fell from his yacht, the Lady Ghislaine, under unexplained circumstances. Some believe he was assassinated by Mossad after demanding financial bailouts, while others speculate he was silenced to prevent further exposure of Israeli operations. His state-like funeral, held in Jerusalem, attended by 6 former heads of Israeli intelligence, reinforced the belief that he was a key Mossad asset. Following her father's death, Ghislaine Maxwell moved to New York and quickly became Epstein's closest associate. Given her father's legacy, questions remain about whether she was simply his accomplice or if she played a more strategic role in his intelligence operations, like perhaps she was his handler. Ghislaine introduced Epstein to high-profile figures including Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Prince Andrew. This aligns with intelligence tactics of placing operatives within elite circles. Former intelligence officer Ari Ben Menashe has claimed that both Epstein and Ghislaine were both Mossad assets running a blackmail operation. As Epstein's chief recruiter, Ghislaine played a central role in luring young women into Epstein's orbit, an operation that mirrored classic honeypot tactics used to gather compromising material on powerful figures. While there is no definitive proof that Ghislaine was Epstein's handler, her unwavering loyalty, deep ties to Israeli intelligence, and continued protection of Epstein's operations raise serious questions. Epstein's network wasn't just built on financiers and socialites. It also included powerful political figures with direct ties to Israeli intelligence. One of the most notable was Ehud Barak, Israel's former prime minister and head of military intelligence. Barak met Epstein in the early 2000s, reportedly through former Prime Minister Shimon Peres. Leaked documents show Barak met with Epstein dozens of times between 2013 and 2017, including private visits to his New York townhouse. Barak entered business ventures with Epstein, including investments in Carbine, an Israeli tech firm specializing in emergency response and surveillance, an industry closely linked to intelligence operations. Despite Epstein's criminal record, Barak maintained ties with him for years. He claims he never witnessed any illicit activity, but his continued association, long after Epstein's first conviction, raises suspicions about the true nature of their relationship. Les Wexner, the billionaire founder of L Brands, was Epstein's single biggest financial backer, and their relationship was highly unusual. Wexner granted Epstein power of attorney over his vast fortune, an extraordinary level of trust for someone with no formal financial background. Epstein lived in Wexner's New York mansion, allegedly for free, before it was mysteriously transferred into his name. And in 2008, as Epstein faced legal trouble, Wexner received a $46 million repayment from Epstein, a transaction that remains unexplained. Wexner's deep ties to Israel, including his leadership role in the pro-Israel mega group, have led to speculation that his support of Epstein was part of a larger intelligence operation. Epstein's network mirrors the very tactics that intelligence agencies use to control powerful figures by gathering compromising material and leveraging it against them. Was Epstein just a manipulative predator, or was he part of a larger intelligence operation designed to secure geopolitical influence? If that's the case, then his arrest and his death may not have been about justice at all. It may have been about covering up one of the most sophisticated blackmail operations in modern history. To recap, let's connect the dots. Robert Maxwell, British media mogul, alleged Mossad agent, and suspected intelligence operative, was the father of Ghislaine Maxwell, who was Epstein's closest associate, possibly continuing her father's intelligence connections. Ehud Barak, former Israeli prime minister, met with Epstein dozens of times and had business ventures tied to Israeli surveillance tech. Les Wexner, billionaire financier of Epstein, had deep ties to Israeli elites, and Epstein's investments in companies like Carbine linked him directly to Israeli intelligence-related industries. With all of these connections, Epstein starts to look less like an independent predator and more like a pawn in a much larger game. So what was he really doing? And how much of the truth was buried with him? Or is he still out there?